Otibu TV, born from the drumbeat of the streets, the heartbeat of our people. Not stories written for us, but stories lived by us. At dawn, the kettle sings, the church roars, the market stares, a nation rises. Every breath, every hustle, a verse in our song. Hands at work tells their stories. The tattoo artist with ink, the pedicurist with polish, the seamstress stitching beauty, and the coconut seller cracks open relief, sweet water in hard times. And there are voices that carry further, stories born from pain. When the sun bows low, dreams prepare for tomorrow. The day may rest, but the life remains awake. This is not just a day, this is our rhythm, our spirit, and our truth. This is a day in the life.
Bernard El-Bernard Eshun is the husband of Mimi El-Bernard Eshun, the father of Minel El-Bernard, Bernard El-Bernard Eshun, and the yet-to-be-born triplet, Nkomshe El-Bernard, Edisem El-Bernard, and Asumje El-Bernard.
Before prophecy becomes public, before faith becomes conversation, before a name becomes a calling, there is a man. A man shaped in silence, refined in prayer, grounded in conviction. In a world loud with opinions, some voices are formed quietly. This is not just the story of a prophet. This is the story of a man entrusted with sight and burdened with responsibility. Every great calling begins somewhere, often not in comfort, but in humility. Before the altar, before the pulpit, before the prophecy, there was a home, a place of learning, a place of discipline, a place where values were shaped long before destiny was announced. His journey reflects the movement of many Ghanaians. Between cities, between seasons, between promise and patience.
Well, I was born in the city of Sekondi, Takoradi, to my wonderful parents. We're actually a family of 5 siblings, myself inclusive. 3 guys and 2 ladies. I had part of my education at Takoradi, then to Bechim in now Ahafo region, and to Brekum, and I think Wenchi, and finally I got to Takoradi Secondary School, then the University of Ghana. That whatever God have called me to do, with or without anyone, I can still get it done. Being focused on what you want to do, no matter anyone's opinion, making sure you are diligent and excellent in whatever you've been called to do, having remembrance as part of your expressions in life, and being grateful and appreciative for whatever God has done for you and wherever you find yourself at time. Well, I understand that a false balance is an abomination before the Lord. So when I'm at home, I'm a husband and a father. I'm a friend to my wife and my children. I also put them in the hands of the Lord, understanding that God will take care of them, and I have options in taking care of my family. Well, whilst growing up, one of my greatest desires was to go into the military. And at a point, I also wanted to do something that would bring me money. And so that's what I wanted to do till the time and the season when the call of God came upon my life. Well, I got born again whilst watching the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams several years ago. And in less than 3 months after my born again experience, I started hearing and seeing things that no one spoke to me about. Then whilst I was growing up, I entered a church where I saw a prophet, And when I saw him doing the work of a prophet, I just told myself, but these are the same things that I keep seeing. But all this while, I did not know that God was calling me into the ministry of the prophet and the office of the prophet until I entered the church pastored by my spiritual father, Reverend Ibua's son. So it was at a point of encountering my spiritual father where my father told me the call of God is upon your life. And that consciousness helped me to understand that God has called me into ministry and also into the office of the prophet with several encounters that God gave me myself.
Today, he is a husband, a father, and a man of God. And in a life defined by public calling, family remains his first ministry.
I will not say I doubted or resisted God's call, but I believe that it was part of God's original design for me. But where I wanted to resist was when I was supposed to go and do this as a full-time assignment, because I knew that there were other avenues that would be able to bring me money. And me, I like money. So I want to do things that will bring me money, and felt that going into ministry will not help me to achieve my financial goals. So that was a little bit of resistance there. But when it comes to the calling, I love doing it and all of that.
In a generation driven by data, trends, and polls, prophecy remains misunderstood. Some see it as prediction. Others see it as performance. But in its truest form, prophecy is alignment between heaven and earth. It is not released to impress, but to instruct.
Well, I don't have any business as at now in all of this field. What I do now is how to use my gift and my knowledge in this field to help the church I pastor and the people who look up to me in taking full control over their financial lives. And I believe that there are about 21 decisions that would have the power to influence the quality of life anyone will live. Number one, as a believer, is your decision to serve God. Number two is decision to discover and pursue your purpose. Number three is leadership skills development decision. Number four is financial management decision. So I believe that everyone should understand that when it comes to the area of finances, it's a matter of personal responsibility, and whatever you will need to learn in order to know how to earn, how to manage, and how to multiply money is very important. So I spend time learning about finances, and especially the next generation of money, which is cryptocurrency and all of that. And I teach the people around, and if they are serious about their financial future, they also take it from there. There are seasons where we need to understand that everything that we do must be based on what we call principle, because life works on principle. So there is a principle that applies to business, and there is a principle that applies to you working as a prophet. Now, there also comes a time where you will be, so let me give you an example. A man came to me and said he made a lot of money during the COVID. This is a man who is into automobile industry and also spare parts and those kind of things. But one day he said the Lord gave him an instruction not to engage in that business that year, spend all his time to buy nose masks and all those things we use during the COVID time. And it did not make sense to him. It did not make sense to him, but he went ahead and he did it, and that was when COVID came. By the time people were looking for face masks and others, he had already made a lot of money there. So as a business person, run your business by principles. But if you're a Christian and God also gave you instruction concerning it, please choose the instruction over the principle. I believe that every parent wishes that their children will do well. And if God is our Father, then God expects us to do well. And so true spirituality is growing in such a way that you use your giftings, your ability to create product and services that can make people's life better. So yes, prosperity and spirituality can coexist. I don't know what I should do when you are dying of hunger and I say I'll pray for you. If I have money, I'll feed you. It's better. All I tell them is that they should understand that whatever God has given to them is not only for them. There is a portion that is meant for the kingdom, there is a portion that is meant for society, and there is a portion that is meant for them. They should learn how to manage all that God has given to them very well, because there is always a day of accountability. Anything that at a certain level cannot be predicted is suspicious. If you wake up in the morning and you find out that your arm is no longer here, it's here, then there's something wrong. So God has a certain nature of consistency. So when God asked us to start our food bank, I think it was something to also to reveal to people the nature of God, the nature of provision, the nature of consistency. In John chapter 6, the Bible says that Jesus was teaching the word, and there were so many people who were hungry, and he fed them. And so I think that almost everything we do as a church is anchored on John chapter 6. Number one, whatever we do is a ministry and is a way of projecting the love of Christ to our community and to the people around. So it's not only a responsibility, it's a ministry that God has called us into. We don't do it to prove a point. We do it to announce the love of Christ. So when you come for the service, it's not on, okay, if you take the food, we want to take a picture of you or whatever we give you, want the world to know. If in doing good, the world finds out what we are doing, that is up to them. But we do it because we want to demonstrate the love of Christ.
For some, provision came quietly. For others, it arrived unexpectedly through a vehicle, a holiday package, or a timely support. But behind every gift is discernment, not favoritism, but purpose. And when generosity is guided by conviction, lives are not just helped, they are transformed.
My name is Simeon Olatubosun Tinkwan. I would say 17 years now. I joined Spirit Life in the year 2010. Yes, so I've been around for 17 years. I think it all started in the year 2010. Like I said, a friend invited me to the church. And that was my first time of having an encounter with him. So when I saw him, he ministered to me outside. Funny enough, I didn't get the place to sit inside, so the program had ended. So he was seeing the man of God he had invited to the church. He was seeing him off. So I was standing outside, leaning on the car, actually. So when he walked close to me, then it was like, oh, so he struggled, mentioning my local name, and at the end of the day, he mentioned my name, and then he mentioned the name of my family, every single one of them. So that was how everything started. Meekness is humbleness, the way he relates with people, the way he's family oriented, the way he loves his. When I first met him, then he wasn't married, so. But then the way he embraced every culture, every tribe, personality, yes, that's it basically. So one of the things I tell people is that forget everything you see on the pulpit, forget everything you see online. That man you see there is very different off stage. Like, I mean, you get to a pastor, the way he relates with everyone, the way he plays with everyone, the way he laughs, jokes with everyone. He's an interesting man of God. Very interesting man of God. Well, I believe strongly that when it comes to worship, in my own understanding, goes hand in hand with the prophetic. So in that light, we try as much as possible to add up to our worship. You understand, and we don't literally repeat almost the same thing every now and then. We try to do something different, and we've had testimonies of people coming to the church and they are like, "Oh, I'm in church today because of the last week worship or the last week praises," and all of that. So one way or the other, it has really played. I believe it has played, maybe a little role in the growth of the church itself. I think it's confidence. People just don't understand why a man will be that confident. Like when he says, "I've said this and I've said that." And, I think there was a time Papa said, he's not going to die now. Like even God cannot kill him. And then people just don't understand. Then I realized that a lot of people just don't read their Bible. Because if they do read their Bible, they will understand that if Christ himself said, "With long life will I satisfy you," maybe someone dying at 50, 60, 70, is that long life? No, so yeah, so I think it's level of confidence actually. I was having a conversation with him some time ago and I said to him, I asked him, I said, why does he live his life like as if he's a dead man? That's a man that nothing materialistic actually matters to him. You see, and we are in a dispensation where one way or the other people they will be in need of one or two things. So him being kind, giving out cars, giving out money, scholarship of over 600 people, one way or the other, it will definitely draw people to church. The prophetic, the depth of the prophetic, the personality behind the prophetic, the person that prophesied himself, Papa. Yeah, I mean, I'm coming from a background where, we are more of a teaching church. So if you're in a teaching, preaching, prophetic church, an apostolic-based church, come on, it adds up to your faith. You knowing what God have in store for you through his vessel, it adds up, yeah. So, and also the praises, yes, the music. Well, what I would just say is that sometimes you read comment on social media and you're like, are they really talking about my father? One of the things I would just, say to people out there watching this is they should take out time to come visit Prophet Bernard El-Bernard. Visit the church, Spirit Life Revival Ministries. Of course, he will be in church. He's always in church. You will see him. And before you write anything online or before you see anything online, so just come visit. Come, testify yourself. Yes, come experience him yourself. They're not going to tell you. You will go come back. See, I just want to let you know that this boy that you picked from the street of Accra, I always tell people, I think I've not shared my story on this documentary, so let me just take a time to share it. I was on the street of Accra picking metals. I was picking metal and I was selling to make ends meet. I don't know what you call it, scraps. I was picking scraps. And before I had an encounter with my father. And from then till now, it's from glory to glory and to glory. This is a guy that was surviving on 4 Ghana cedis in 2010. How do I survive? I buy Gary. At the time, I was even begging on the street of Accra. I knew someone that had a phone, so I would have taken the person's phone and then walk up to anybody and tell the person that, please, I'm stranded in this country. I want to call my family, some of my family at home to send me money. Then those were the days we were doing 30 pesos, transfer 70 pesos. So I would tell them that I have a phone, I just want to buy credit. So the person can help me 1 Ghana cedis and then sometimes they would give me 50 pesos. So I was begging. So when I realized I couldn't beg anymore, that was how come I started picking scrap, because I had seen someone that picked scrap and then it was paid. So that was how I started picking scrap. And one way or the other, someone saw me in a church ministry, and then the person introduced me to Prophet Bernard El-Bernard. And then from then till now, it's a different story. I'm a living witness of God's goodness. I'm a living witness of what his gift can do. So I just want to let him know that, I just want to let him know that I am grateful. I can never ever be ungrateful. Like this gospel of where he picked me from will be preached even to my great grandson said, I'm standing here because God kept me. But I'm alive because God kept me. But I'm doing what I really love to do, music, because of Bernard El-Bernard Eshun. Last 2 years, he gave me 50,000 to do my concert. Last year, he gave me 100,000 Ghana cedis to do my concert. I mean, he's giving me a car, like several things I can't even talk about. This is a man we're talking about here. Popsy, I genuinely love and appreciate you, appreciate your gift. And you see this life, we die together. No one is going anywhere. We are together, Popsy. Bless you, sir.
Okay, so I am Ruby Sedinam Ambazado. I'm a broadcast journalist, and I've known this church since 2013, but I joined officially in 2015. So let me say this year will be my 11th year in this church. And I love worshiping here. You know, Spirit Life Revival Ministry is the place to be, and I will choose here 100 times. Thank you. So after so many years, I lost my car. I lost so many things that I had to sell them, and I was doing work, home work, using Uber, Trotro, and other transport. So I was in need of a car. I was so devastated. And we had this, our Mothers of Faith convention, and our man of God was giving out cars. And I told myself, I must get this car. So I had to sit down, pray, and look for a way to get this. And trust me, everything I did, the prayers, the fasting, at the end of the day, I ended up with my car. Okay, so I did this placard. I wrote on it, Papa, give me the car key. And I wore it on my neck for 5 nights. The program lasted for 7 nights, and I wore it from the, the third to the last night. And always praying and doing other stuff to be noticed. So I think the last night, I used that placard. I went to the stage to dance, doing praises and worship. So our guest pastor saw this on my neck and was like, wow, I'm so energetic. He loves the way I am so good in worshiping God. And he read the thing on my neck, and he read it out to the church. Papa, give me the car key. Papa, give me the car key. And he said to the man of God, that's my pastor, he said, please, I plead with her, give her the car key. Instantly, my pastor went into his office to bring the car key, and that's how I received the car. How changed my situation? I think that would be an understatement, because it changed my whole life, from my business to work. Like, life has become so easy for me, and left with me alone. I don't know how I was going to get a car, because even bicycle tires, I can't be able to afford that. So getting this car has changed my whole life, perception about faith and God and the church in a whole. Yeah. Wow, Prophet Bernard El-Bernard has really supported in my faith. I think I was once a member in EP Church, but then I was a member in EP Church. So growing up, I think after SHS, I wanted to grow in my spiritual life. So I searched around the whole of Accra, and one day I met a man of God who took me to Prophet Bernard El-Bernard's church. And being here has changed my whole perception about faith. Faith works. I never believed in faith, but faith really works, and thanks to Prophet Bernard El-Bernard and his ministries. Prophet Bernard El-Bernard Eshun, I call him my father, my father. And right now I'm as emotional as I'm saying this, very emotional. And I want to tell you that God bless you for you. God bless you for us, my family, my faith, my whole life. You've been there. Whenever we call upon you, you answer. There was no day you never responded when we called you. And I think doing this alone shows how good you are to us, because we are a number of people who are under you. But anytime each of us calls upon you, you answer. God bless you. Never change for who you are, and never ever listen to what people say, because with you, you are a good person, and God also bless you.
So I'm Richard Asante, also known as DJ Asante, and I joined this church in February 2023. I think it was they were having an ordination here, so I actually joined, and that was my first time being here, and that has been the time, like all the times I've been here. So yeah, I was taking Jojo to church. I wasn't having a car, and just to save here for under 3 years and get a car, Charlie, it's a whole big deal. You get it. So yeah, as we always say, trotro and walking trotro to church, trotro to home. Like that was how the thing is. But now I drive home and come back. So I was expecting a car, but I wasn't expecting a Honda Civic. I was actually expecting maybe something like a Vitz or Picanto, just to work with, like an Uber. You get, But when I received the car, when I received the Civic, I was like, wow, this is huge. And I mean, I had people telling me I have to sell it to buy Vitz and all that, but already I had spoken to someone about his car, that if I get his car, I think it was a Corolla, the latest model of the Corolla. So I spoke to him that if I get his car, the business I'll use it for, it won't be easy. So it was after that 1 week that I received a Civic, and I was like, thank you, God. So the business has actually come to pass, or come to stay here.
My name is Maxwell Adute, popularly known as Max Praise. I've been serving under Prophet Bernard El-Bernard Eshun for the past 16 years. I've been privileged to receive several blessings from him. Working directly with him, he has supported me in many ways financially, but one of the biggest ways was to give me my first car. Yeah, and I was blessed by that. I have been privileged to work directly with him for all these years, and the car was just to let me know he appreciates my efforts, and also a demonstration of how he is. Prophet Bernard is a loving father and always want to see his sons and daughters do well. So giving me a car was a sign to prove his love and commitment to me as a person, and also to my ministry and my personal life. We have been trained to see everything as God doing his work in our lives. Like I said, he is a loving person, and giving is part of his nature. So even in as much as the people around him always see it to look like he would give you at the end of the day, this was one of the surprises that came to me unannounced. I happened to receive it in a surprise mood, and I was so excited receiving it from him. Prophet Bernard's life of giving has impacted my life in several ways, also making me see Christianity in a different way. One word I always use for him is like he represents Jesus in our personal lives. He makes us see how Christ used to walk on the earth, how he behaved here, how he walked here. Because when you study his life and the way he lives, you can simply know that this is how Jesus lived. You can see the heart of a father, you can see the heart of a pastor, and you can see the big heart of a prophet, all in one person. And in the demonstration of this, I would say the impact is to let you see Jesus in everything that a pastor should do. And it's a good example to me to also look at it and say, this is how Christ looked like. I will say to Prophet Bernard, you are a good man, you are a good example, you are one person that shouldn't be forgotten on this planet. I would say I wish every pastor will learn from you. It will make Christianity easy. It will make Christianity loving. It will make Christianity a thing that everybody would love to be part of. Because what you are is what Christ described. And I would say, I just want to just wait to see what his biological children will look like in the future, because this man is everything anybody can pray for in this world.
I want to be remembered as the man who walked with God, who obeyed God, and who inspired many to exemplify the nature of God on earth. I don't carry a burden for the next generation, because the next generation will take care of themselves. I teach them the truth now, and the truth is so liberating that it's no longer a burden. Well, young people called but unprepared. They should understand that anything at its raw state has less value. So I have leg, but because my leg is raw, I can't receive the money that Cristiano Ronaldo and the rest receiving. So training, preparation is important. If they have to go to Bible school, they have to go to Bible school. If they have to go to whatever school, they have to go to school. If they have to sit under a qualified mentor, they sit under a qualified mentor. They should know who they are and start developing themselves in that direction. They should remember Spirit Life as a church that preached about the Lord Jesus Christ and exemplified the act of Christ on earth.
This is not the end of the story. It is the continuation of a calling that only a few adhere and acknowledge.